Guys, and welcome back to another episode of Going In Blind. And once again, we are hitting the situation where thematically it makes sense. We are still on the title restrictions of, you know, having only Final Fantasy VII theme cards. Also the added restriction that I've been trying to make it into like a leader kind of deck where the leader fights against the Sephiroth. So we got plenty of leaders going around. And yeah, so like I said, the leader card, right? The leader. And so the leader is going to dictate what elements there are in the rest of the deck. And I know that's not a title thing, but it is very thematic. So going against Sephiroth requires every single player. We gotta make it through, right? So we got that boss deck and we got the other 10 decks, and this is just one of them, but it's one of the last ones. So we are scraping the bottom of the card pool barrel right here. We have Aerith with all the Aeriths that are left that are not they're not Earth, so they're pretty good. They're actually really useful for, you know, tapping and untapping stuff. It's called dulling in this game, but I come from Magic, so you guys get it. But yeah, let's talk about Aerith, the 2-cost one. We got when Aerith enters the battlefield, choose one of the 2 following actions. Choose one forward other than Aerith you control, return it to the owner's hand. Okay, so bounce. And the other one is choose a forward you control. It gains the forward. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. Okay, so that's cool. And then you have the other Aerith. This one's kind of hard to read. It says it's a 3-cost forward. It says if a forward you control is dealt damage less than its power, the damage becomes 0 instead. Okay, so you gotta either kill it or it doesn't take damage. That's cool. If Aerith is dealt damage by a summon or an ability, reduce the damage by 2,000 instead. Okay. And when she is put into the field from the field into the break zone, activate all backups you control. So she dies, everything untaps. That's cool. Then you got this 4-cost Aerith with tap to choose up to 3 category 7 characters other than Aerith and activate them. Then other than Aerith, I don't know if it's other than any Aerith or if it's naming itself. So maybe 2 of these can untap each other. I don't know. Then 1 wind cost and tap to choose a forward you control. It cannot be chosen by your summons or abilities. Your opponent's summons or abilities this turn. And then 2 win CP. Choose 1 forward. During this turn, the next damage dealt to it is reduced by 2,000. So protection right there. Then we got this Aerith 2-cost backup. When it enters the battlefield, choose a backup your opponent you control other than Aerith and activate it. Then this one says if you would control a Cat 7 forward, the cost for playing this one is going to be reduced by 1. Oh, that's cool. Then we got this other backup, cost 3. When enters the battlefield, choose up to 3 backups you control other than Aerith and activate them. Okay, so tap. Then Planet Protector, you can sacrifice an Aerith from the hand, pitch it, tap this one, activate all forwards you control. They cannot be chosen by summons or abilities this turn. Great. Then we got another backup, but it's on water. This is very unusual. 1 water Aerith that's going to be tapping to put her in the break zone. Choose a light card in your break zone, add it to your hand. So we're going to be saving this Aerith. Pretty cool stuff. And this light Aerith costs 4. Says when she enters the battlefield, choose up to 2 Cat 7 in the break zone other than Aerith. I don't know about that. Add them to your hand. And then you can tap and pay 1 to put Aerith into the break zone and choose one of these 2. Which is going to be choose 1 Cat 7 forward and dull it. It gains this forward, cannot be broken. Or choose 1 dark forward and break it. Okay, that's pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, that's the Aerith part. We could actually break this deck apart, though, because none of this makes sense with each other. It's the only deck, though, that has water. So I crammed every single water card into this deck, and everything else after that is going to be spread among everything that we've got left. So I guess we could call these decks kind of the leftovers, which are the Aerith Water Wind deck, the Cloud Lightning Wind deck, the Sonon Earth, and the Sonon Earth Lightning decks. That Sonon doesn't even have it probably has half the cards because there's just no more card pool. And we're scraping it, but here at least we got enough. On the Cloud deck, we don't have enough. We're missing like 7 cards. And on the Sonon deck, we're missing like 20 cards. So we'll see what happens, and I'll still post it. I'll still keep you updated with whatever the decks need and what's happening. I'm not gonna update them a lot. I'm not gonna keep mixing and mashing decks to make new stuff. But as sets come around, we can actually complete decks, so that'd be cool. But yeah, let's keep going with non-Aerith stuff, which is gonna be kind of like off-brand from this whole deck. So we got the G Diver, we got the Andrea Rhodia, we got Leslie and Kyrie. So that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 backups. This deck has so many backups, and yet it doesn't have anything to do. So G Diver draws you a card. Each player draws a card when it dies. I don't know how to feel about that, because maybe you want to pitch it to pay for something else, but then if you pay for something else, the opponent is drawing a card, so you are netting 0, which is virtual -1 card advantage. You got Andrea Rhodia, adult to active, 7 characters, all the forwards. Opponent controls lose all abilities. That's interesting. That's like a stun. You got Leslie. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard 1 card, and when you do so, choose 1 forward opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand. And if the discarded card is Cat 7, you draw a card. So this one will net you positive. You got Kyrie, saying it's a backup for 2 CP. When she enters the battlefield, your opponent reveals her hand. Then look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Return those to the top and bottom. Okay, so scry. Yeah, so scry 2. You can put them in any order, on the top or on the bottom, the 2 that you saw. That's pretty cool stuff. Yeah. So your opponent reveals their hand and you scry 2. Nice. Then you have a cost 4 Fujito, which is going to be a backup. When he's put from the field into the break zone, choose a forward, an opponent controls, and remove it from the game. So that's pretty decent removal. And then you can put it into the break zone to look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one of them onto the top, the other one on the bottom. So another scry 2 that also works as removal. That's pretty cool. It's also a backup while you don't do it, so nice. Then we got Madam M. So when she enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of the deck. Add 1 wind character among them into your hand. Return the other cards onto the bottom of the deck. Nice. Then we got Shiji. I don't know how to say that. And yeah, it's another backup, and you can sacrifice it and search for a Cat 7 and add it to your hand. Yep, I guess that's it. Then you have the testament that this is truly scraping the bottom of the barrel for our card pool, which is monsters. So we're gonna have Genova Dreamweaver, Sahagin or Sajin, I don't know, and then Blugu. Yeah, they're monsters. They do something. We don't really care. We just wanna fit the card count. So we're technically missing 9 cards here, but yeah, it doesn't matter. At least they work. And yeah, like I was saying, this could be partitions of a deck where you can just throw all these out and then use these cards and put them in another deck. But because there's no other water deck in Final Fantasy VII, these are the only water cards in Final Fantasy VII, you know. Therefore, we're trying to use the most that we can and use them in the right way and try to make decks and try to spread those cards out evenly rather than to have, you know, the top 5 cards repeated in every single deck. That's not good investment. And hey, these cards are super cheap, so yeah, maybe I lost $5, whatever. It doesn't really matter that much, okay? So let me know what you guys think in the comments as well. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for more. Let me know if this is a terrible idea, if this deck even works at all. At least it's got backups. There's some other decks that don't even have any backups. So be sure to watch out for those and check them out. It's 10 decks in total going against the Sephiroth boss deck. So I'll see you on those ones as well.